Hi, I'm Shauna with VA Disability Group. Today we're going to be taking a look at some really big changes that have taken place in the Family Caregiver program. Earlier this year, a decision was made that's going to greatly affect who can participate and what kind of appeals are available to those that were denied previously for the Caregiver program. So here's what we're going to do today. First, we're going to take a look at what is the Caregiver program. Can you participate in it? Next, we're going to take a look at the decision that was made and how it affects your ability to appeal that decision. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the appeals process, the forms you need to complete, where you need to send those documents. We'll even take a look at the documents that you'll see if you were previously denied and go specifically through those step by step. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So the VA offers a support program to family caregivers for veterans that meet certain criteria involving their disabilities. It's the Program of Comprehensive Assistance for Family Caregivers, otherwise known as PCAFC. This does require a certain level of impairment for activities of daily living. Qualifying caregivers can receive assistance from the VA for providing this care to veterans. The benefits include education and training, mental health assistance for the caregiver, financial assistance for traveling with the veteran to certain appointments and things. There's also a monthly stipend, which is one of the biggest perks that's available. The caregiver can also receive access to healthcare themselves through the CHAMP VA program. This really is a great program because it offers these benefits to family members who often this becomes their full-time job. Now, what does the application process even look like if you were interested in applying for the Caregiver program? So the application process takes place at your local VA healthcare center. It's going to be between the caregiver, the veteran, and the caregiver team at the facility. Now, this application can then either be approved or denied, much like a VA benefits claim can. Previously, what was happening is that when a caregiver was denied, their only option really was to appeal their decision within the healthcare system. Now, this really didn't offer much recourse for the caregivers because what ended up happening is that the healthcare reviewers were able to make denials without much reason given. And once you were denied, even though you could continue to submit appeals, nobody within the healthcare hierarchy wanted to be caught holding that hot potato, making that decision. So thousands of family caregivers were denied the ability to participate in the program, and then were also not able to appeal that decision. So the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit ruled earlier this year that caregiver appeals can be made to the VA. This is the same branch of the VA that processes VA claims. Now, this is huge news, because as we stated before, previously they would stall out within the healthcare system. A decision would be sent to the BVA, and the BVA would send back a letter saying, oh, sorry, we can't process this. You need to follow the channels within the healthcare system. So this recent decision really upends that argument that was being made by the VA that would just leave caregivers kind of in a lurch. So the case involved that led to this positive decision is with Jeremy, and sorry already, Jeremy, I really hope I get this right, but Jeremy Beaudette and his wife Maya. Jeremy is a Marine Corps veteran who's legally blind, and he's also rated 100% with the VA. What happened was that they were removed from the caregiver program. He was scheduled for an in-person appointment, but he was unable to attend because he was still recovering from a surgery. So, boom, gone. He was kicked out of the caregiver program, what Maya was. And they appealed the decision. They appealed the decision several times. So the BVA made the ruling that, well, we can't make a ruling because this is outside of our jurisdiction. Eventually, the Beaudettes were able to appeal this decision to the CAVC. And this decision took place in 2021. As part of the Beaudette's decision, the court ruled that all caregivers program denials should be considered through the BVA jurisdiction. So the CAVC also ruled that a list should be made of previous applicants that may still be eligible for an appeal. Here's when it gets more interesting. The VA filed an appeal on that 2021 decision to the federal court. Because they did this, the VA halted all their work on compiling that list of applicants that might be able to appeal their denial for the caregiver program. That was 3 years ago. So that brings us to the decision that was made by the Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit. That decision was made in February 2024. Well, guess what? They ruled that the caregiver program does fall under BVA jurisdiction. So let's look at some figures here. According to the National Veterans Legal Services Program, there are more than 400,000 veterans and caregivers that might be eligible to appeal their cases. So at this point, the VA could appeal this decision to the Supreme Court. But at the time of filming this video, no movement has been made to do so. So let's focus on what this means for veterans and caregivers right now. So this means you can appeal your denial for the caregiver program in the same way that you would appeal your denial for the Veterans Benefits Program. It's the same jurisdiction now. All right, so here's what you need to know about how to appeal. So first we're gonna look at decisions that were made before February 19th, 2019. Now, if this is you, you have two options. The first option is that you can request a board appeal and have a veterans law judge review your case. So what you'll need is to submit the PCAFC Notice of Disagreement, VA Form 10-307. Okay, so once you complete the NOD that's specifically for the caregiver program, you will submit it to the VA Evidence Intake Center. Now, your second option is that you can request a clinical appeal to have the VA Healthcare Facility's Chief of Staff review the decision. This would take place again within the healthcare branch under their hierarchy, and you can submit new evidence to support your claim with this option. So that's for those older claims that occurred before February 19th of 2019. Now, what do you do if you received a decision on or after February 19th of 2019? You actually have four options. So the first option is to submit a supplemental claim. With this claim, you can submit new and relevant evidence that has not been considered before along with the claim. The form you're looking for is the VA Form 20-0995. This document, once you complete it, is submitted to the VA Evidence Intake Center. So your second option is to request a higher level review, and that is with VA Form 20-0996. With this option, you will not be submitting any new evidence. You're going to have to let that ride with the evidence that you already submitted. And what happens is that a higher level reviewer will be assigned to your claim, and they'll issue you a new decision based on the evidence that you already previously submitted. And we will have links to all of these forms in the description box. Third, this is the one that you get to appeal now to the VA Board of Veterans Appeals. See, we've come full circle now. You're going to use VA Form 10182. And then this document, once completed, is sent to the Board of Veterans Appeals. Now, I am going to walk through what this would look like a little later, but I do want to finish up with the fourth option. You also have the option to appeal to the clinical appeal, so the Chief of Staff at the VA Medical Health Center that you're receiving care from. And again, you are able to submit new evidence along with that claim. All right. We have all of that out of the way, so let's go ahead and walk through the process from start to finish, and we'll end with an appeal to the BVA. We're going to take a look at this third option for veterans who received a decision on or after February 19th, 2019. What we're looking at here is a VA communication stating that they received the caregiver application. That's Form 10-10 CG. And you can see that this form was received on October 7th, 2020, and that a caregiver support coordinator will contact you to discuss the next steps. Next, we're going to take a look at the denial letter. On November 23rd of 2020, the client received a denial to the program. You have the right to appeal if you disagree with this decision. Please contact a patient advocate at your local VA medical center to discuss the appeal process. So after this denial on November 23rd, 2020, nothing happened. But then our client received a notification letter on March 23rd, 2022. So let's take a look at this communication. So it notes that they received this decision, and it's notifying them that, guess what? You can appeal. You can appeal to the Board of Veterans' Appeals. This is exactly what we're talking about. It's referencing the lawsuit between the Beaudettes and McDonough. So this is how they are communicating that they're slowly rolling out this process and staggering who they're sending these to. So here we see the instructions on how to appeal. So you can see right here, it goes through everything we previously discussed. If you applied before February 19th, 2019, here are your options. If you applied on or after February 19th, 2019, here are your options for appeal. So that's what we did. We appealed that decision. So I would like to note this section. It says apply or reapply. And it says if you're not currently participating, the VA encourages you to reapply. On October 1st, 2020, regulatory changes went into effect that could impact your eligibility. Individuals who wish to be considered for designation by the VA as primary or secondary family caregivers must submit a joint application along with the veteran or service member. You are allowed to reapply for PCAFC benefits and also appeal your past PCAFC decisions to the board at the same time. So this is all great news. Just stinks that it took so long to reach this decision. So because our clients submitted their application after February 19th of 2019, we chose to appeal that with an NOD, and that appeal was filed with the BVA on April 25th of 2022. And you do have options of how you would like your appeal to be reviewed. In this section, you'll check one of these boxes. First is a direct review by a veterans law judge, stating you do not want to have a board hearing and will not submit any additional evidence. The second option is an evidence submission reviewed by a veterans law judge, and this just means that you do have additional evidence to support your claim that you would be submitting. There's a additional form you'd fill out, the VA Form 10-152. And the last choice is a hearing with a veterans law judge. This would be a board hearing. You would be able to interface with the judge. And specifically, you'll see exactly down here how to state your claim here. So in the specific issues, you would list entitlement to caregivers assistance, PCAFC, and then the date that you received your decision. So in this case, that was November 23rd, 2020. And then you would submit this to the Board of Veterans' Appeals. That is what this process would look like. For those of you that received your decision on or after February 19th of 2019, you'll notice that there is a statement here, and it says the deadline on VA Form 10-182 that states you must appeal within 1 year or 365 days from the date of the VA's decision does not apply to PCAFC decisions issued by the VA before September 28th, 2021. And this is because those PCAFC decisions were issued without appeal rights to the board. So that 1 year deadline does not count for these particular claims. So overall, we're really excited about the prospect that this can lead to better rulings for veterans and caregivers that are looking to take advantage of this program. Check out the description box down below. I'm going to have all the links to the documents that you would need to use in order to file an appeal. Leave a comment, leave a like if this was helpful. Send this to other veterans. If you have a friend that was denied this program, try and spread the word to other veterans so they know that this is available. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.